Odysseus finally makes it home after 20 years, and then he leaves. In the final minutes of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, the hero we watched fight across an entire ocean to reach Ithaca sails away from it, smiling. That's not how Homer wrote it, and that change is the entire point of the movie. Full spoilers from here. You've been warned. Welcome back to Media Breakdown. If you watched my pre-watch guide, welcome to the other side. This is the spoiler zone. In the next 8 minutes, what actually happens in the last act? The ending explained, the Sinon scene that unlocks the whole movie, and the one massive change Nolan made to a 800-year-old ending. Speed run of the whole movie first, so the ending lands. The war. Troy has fallen. Odysseus won it with the Trojan horse, and walking through the sack of the city, he realizes his genius plan was a massacre. He sails for home haunted and then takes 10 years to cross one sea. The journey. This is the legend, you know, with a twist. He blinds the Cyclops Polyphemus and needlessly taunts him on the way out. His crew becomes convinced they're cursed by Poseidon. They eat the lotus and forget home. Circe turns them into pigs and tells them that's what they already are. He sails to the edge of the underworld and speaks with the dead, including the shade of Agamemnon and his own fallen men, who hand him one final task. Remember that task. One by one, every man dies. Calypso keeps him prisoner on her island for years, until only Odysseus is left. Meanwhile, back home, everyone in Ithaca thinks he's dead. Suitors have flooded the palace, eating his estate alive and pressuring Penelope into a new marriage. Telemachus, the son who's never met his father, sails out looking for answers and hears the true story of Troy from Menelaus. And the suitors are about ready to solve the Telemachus problem permanently. The homecoming. Odysseus finally washes up on Ithaca and, on the shade of Agamemnon's advice, disguises himself as a beggar. He reunites with his son. He even talks to Penelope, who pours her heart out to a grizzled veteran of the Trojan campaign she doesn't recognize. Then the bow challenge. String Odysseus' old hunting bow and fire an arrow through a row of axes. Only one man alive has ever done it. The beggar steps up, strings it, threads the axes, and slaughters every suitor in the hall, with something special saved for their leader, Antinous. One key change from the poem. He proves himself to Penelope not with the secret of their marriage bed, but by returning the pin she made him wear when he left for war. 20 years, an ocean of blood, and he kept. Now the ending itself. After the massacre, Odysseus accepts exile as punishment for killing the suitors, which sounds like a tragedy, except it's revealed this was his plan all along. Remember the underworld. When Odysseus spoke with his fallen men, he was given a task: sail west into the unknown to honor the crew he could never bury. He spent 10 years fighting to get home, but he was never destined to stay there. So in the final scene, Odysseus and Penelope sail off into the sunset together, exactly what she asked him to do all those years ago before he ever left for Troy. The movie's first promise is its last image, and Telemachus stays behind. But here's the real answer to the question the movie keeps asking. Why did the journey take 10 years? The film teases Poseidon's curse, but Nolan keeps nudging you away from the gods and towards something darker. Odysseus didn't want to go home. He refused to follow Agamemnon's ship. He needlessly provoked the Cyclops. He ate the lotus. Every obstacle was also an excuse. Why? Guilt! He didn't believe he deserved to go home, and he only admits it out loud in that conversation with Penelope, while disguised, because it's the only way he can say it. If one scene unlocks the whole movie, it's Sinon, a character Nolan invented. He's not in Homer. Sinon took another soldier's place in the war draft, a swap Odysseus personally oversaw. He believed fighting at Troy was noble. Then he's killed as part of a tactical retreat, a death Odysseus knew was coming and allowed. That death recontextualizes the Trojan horse. The movie shows the sack of Troy through Odysseus' own eyes. Not the bard's version Menelaus tells Telemachus, but the truth. His brilliant plan was a delivery mechanism for slaughtering women and children. There's even a shot of a decapitated statue of Athena, the goddess the horse was supposedly a gift for. Wisdom itself beheaded by his cleverness. Circe hammers the same nail. When she turns the crew into pigs, she tells them this is what they already are. Their human forms are the disguise. The violence wasn't forced on them at Troy, it was in them all along. And this is why Nolan strips the gods down to ambiguity. In Homer, Poseidon's wrath is real and Athena is guardian angel. In the film, the curse might just be superstition the crew clings to. So how different is this from Homer? 3 big swings. 1. The ending itself. In the poem, the suitors' families come for revenge. Athena descends, restores peace, and Odysseus and Penelope rule Ithaca happily as king and queen. He stays. Nolan trades that for exile in the voyage west. 2. The recognition. The poem's famous test is the marriage bed carved from a living olive tree, immovable like their bond. The film swaps it for the pin. Smaller, more portable, which fits because Nolan's Odysseus was never going to stay rooted. 3. The tone. Homer wrote a homecoming. Nolan made a pre-apocalyptic story. This is Oppenheimer in bronze armor. Odysseus and the Trojan horse are Oppenheimer and the bomb, a creator terrified that his invention has doomed his world. He even tells Penelope their story will only survive as song, because soon there'll be no one left who can write. This is the Bronze Age collapse seen from the deck of one ship. And yet, the final shot is warm. Penelope answers his doomsaying with 3 words. We will endure. Civilizations end. People continue. That's the note Nolan closes on. One last thing. No, there's no post-credits scene. But don't leave early anyway, because the credits roll over an original song, When I'm Home, performed by James Blake and Travis Scott with Ludwig Göransson, and co-written by Christopher Nolan himself. First songwriting credit of his career. The man adapted Homer and then wrote the closing hymn. Absurd behavior. So, did Nolan improve on a 800-year-old ending? Or should Odysseus have stayed king? I genuinely want the Homer readers in the comments on this one. If you haven't seen my no-spoiler pre-watch guide, it's on screen now. Send it to whoever you're dragging to the IMAX this weekend. Subscribe for the deep dive coming next. Every detail Nolan hid in the Odyssey. See you in the next one.